Well, that escalated quickly. Alright, so what we're doing is working on climate control. I started checking vacuum pods. Pretty much all were bad, at least from what I could tell. I didn't take this all apart to test this one. Probably the only one I didn't test. Well, I didn't put my vacuum pump on it, but it was not working. Now, there's a vacuum pod over here, the double diaphragm one. That one is not working, that one is leaking. And so it works in combination with this one, so if that one's leaking, this one's probably not going to work. But we'll test it and see. But I know for sure this one's bad, this one's bad. The foot one that controls the vents for your feet, that one actually works. And then the double diaphragm one over here is bad, and then I'll show you, we'll test this one. But what I did, I started trying to find all these vacuum pods, and I think I found a couple of them and then couldn't find any others. But they're like $70 or $80 each. So 1, 2, 3, you know, and then if you replace the one down there, and then I can't remember if I found that double one or not, but you can see where that adds up quickly. So what I did, I ordered a kit. This was from Performance Analysis Company. Yeah, Performance Analysis Company. George Murphy, this guy's name, and ordered a full kit. This is enough to rebuild every vacuum pod in the climate control system. Alright, so we're going to pull this off. And we'll test all these. These get brittle too. Make sure none of those leak. And I've kind of come to terms with probably not having a vacuum system in the climate control that's 100% leak free, because I know my other car, when I was trying to work on all this, I didn't rebuild any of the pods on it. I didn't even have the dash out. But I know that the little vacuum solenoids were leaking themselves. But I think if we get all the pods sealed up, I think the vacuum pump will be able to just compensate for any leaking solenoids. I don't think it's going to matter that much. Alright. Yeah, this one's failed. I'm almost glad it's failed. I mean, it's holding a little bit, but I can't. It leaks back down. If you watch it, see it tries to come up. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, it's not even attached here either. So we're going to have to attach that. But yeah, it won't work. So we'll have to reattach that. Here I might as well show you what I'm doing. Now I could probably do better with a smaller set of wire cutters, but I'm using these because these are pretty sharp. Let's get this out of the way. But what I'm doing is I'm just going in here and just getting my wire cutters underneath. And so I have cut that one. And now once I've cut it, I'm just going to break off, just bend and break off pieces until it comes off easily. Like that. Pretty simple. And then we'll go to the hardware store and we'll just buy some little push fasteners like this. Easy to find. I might actually have some. And don't lose these little rubber pieces. Hold on to those. Mercedes is kind of think of everything. You know, don't want those metal clips to rattle up against the metal housing there. So put some little rubber washers on there, and that prevents it. It's a pretty good design. And then over on this is, I mean, I would not own a new Mercedes, but this W123 chassis, that is like this one's kind of hard to get to. I'm going to go in here and just try to help pull that off a little bit. This is super well designed chassis here. Lots of engineering, good engineering, went into these cars. The one that I said was going to be hard to get to over on the, I think I said it was going to be hard to get to. If I didn't say it, I was thinking it. On the right hand side for that recirculate is actually a different style mount. So I don't know, you may not be able to find that one new. I don't know. But it's got like a twist mount. This one's hard to get to. We're gonna clip as much off of it. There. You keep up with your little metal pieces. Anyway, it's got like a little, instead of these, you know, it has just like some plastic tabs that kind of twist and lock into the housing. So, good design there. Our vacuum pump off. Come on. Come. There we go. So that's 2 out. I'll take that third one. Because this other one, it's super easy. I used my little tool here to kind of get in behind there, and then took a little pair of pliers and kind of just pushed in on those while I was doing it. You know, used both hands, and you know, it popped loose, so didn't damage the plastic or anything there. So yeah, 2 down, 2 to go, because I'm not doing the 5th one. Alright, so on this dash pod right here, this one's going to rotate, and what you've got is you've got a little push fastener right there, and you're going to push that in. So just get something, you can get a screwdriver, you can get whatever, and you're going to push that tab in while rotating the pod, and then it'll come right out. Just wanted to show you real quick. On this one, all I did was just push this shaft towards the engine bay, and it popped out of its little retainer. Alright, so this is a better look at the one similar to the one on the far right. We're going to pop it loose from over there. You can't really, off a little plastic right there, similar to how I did the other side. And then I'm going to push in on this tab with the screwdriver from up top, and then I'll twist the body of it to get it out. I did already pop the shaft loose, so now we just got to get the thing out of here. I don't know how well you'll be able to see, and sorry for my squeaking seat, but we're going to just come in here, push the tab down. Yeah, came right out. The foot vents. So, as you can see, that arm goes over here. You're going to have to disconnect that arm, get something in there. This is from the passenger side footwell. Now, the other thing you're going to have to do, this is another one of those locking tab pods. And so if you look,
there in the middle of your screen. Can't point because I'm zoomed in, but in the bottom tab left hand side is your little lock pin. You're going to just push that in and then rotate the pod to get it out. Now, I would probably just try to do it from this side. I don't think I'm going to do mine because I can get to this without the dash. I mean, with the dash in. So, but that's how you get it out. I wanted to at least show y'all how to do it. I'm not, like I said, I'm not pulling mine, but that's how you get it out. As far as rebuilding it, it's like the other single pods.
All right, ignore the mess here. This is just the floorboard where all that mess there is the tube that runs to the climate control sensor just disintegrated, or it was already disintegrated, but here's what I'm talking about. Metallic Sharpie. Just put a mark on the shaft, mark on the body, and at the top too. I'm just going to mark every piece of this thing. So when we go back together, we'll just line all that up. One thing I'm going to do to make this a little easier, make it come apart easier, is twist the body a little bit. You kind of will break it loose. It's got a little wiggle room in this housing here. And so now it was kind of stuck. Now it's moving. And that's just going to make it easier to get apart. Now, I made a tool, and you can make one of these too. Take an old credit card, or this was actually a state park pass. You could do a gift card, whatever. It was an expired state park pass. You can go in there, and you're going to cut it to where it will fit in between here. So just stick it in there, stick it in there. That one wanted to pop out. We're going to go around there, because these things, you know, it's kind of hard to get them all four depressed at the same time to get this thing apart. And what that's doing is it's depressing them. So now just pull it apart. Boom. How easy was that? So if we look at this one, now we got our pieces all over the place. We can see, look at that, we got a rip. So now we're going to pull one of our pods out of here, new one. We're going to slip this off. There we go. And then we're going to slip this one on. Be real careful with it. Make sure it seats all the way on here. All the way down till it bottoms out. And there we go. It's all the way on. So now take our spring and our body, put it all back together, and make sure this fits in here well. It does. Put that on. Now you're going to have to, when you put this together, make sure the lip of it, and you can turn this, line that up, and then we'll line that up. Make sure, if you see in there, make sure the pink goes around the body of that, or the pink should go inside of here. Now, I mean, you could easily put it together without the spring like that, but spring makes it a little difficult. So you can kind of do it without the spring, make sure everything looks like it's going to line up, then put the spring in. But what if we do this instead? I think this is a better route. We do this, and we get that all lined up. Let's see if we can do this. It's going to be difficult. Alright, so we take the body, put the body like that. This is going to be fun. Alright, it's all the way on. Yeah, that's what we need to do. It's all the way around. Haha! That's what you do. Just like that. So, get it all started back together, like us, and then, you know, hold that on with this housing in. I mean, you saw it. Get that all the way around the pink, slide the black on, drop it in. Let's do this one real quick. I'd already taken this one apart. You can see I marked it. But I'll show y'all real quick. We'll see if we can knock this one out quick. Where's the break on this one? Not immediately seeing it. I know this one wasn't holding. It may have been holding a little better. Maybe it's leaking around there. Let's see some not so good looking stuff there. Anyway, I said I was going to do this one quick. We're going to see how quick we can do one. Being careful, of course, but oh look, yeah, that's what it was. Boom. So, those little plastic, pieces of plastic, like a gift card or whatever, that really makes this easy getting these things apart. I mean, that's because it is difficult to try to get all 4 of those compressed at the same time without something like that. And it's cheap, it's easy. Probably everybody's got a gift card hanging around that is spent. Alright, so we said we start this one on. We're going to hold our line right there so we can then line it up here. It's not wanting to line up. Oh, let's see. There we go. So that lines up like that. Got it all together. Slip this on. Get it in the right position. And then we're going to push this in. Done. I mean, how easy is that? These things are easy to rebuild. Now, I guess we could test one.
Hi.
Hi. One we just rebuilt. Boom. It's holding vacuum. Awesome. 2 down, a couple more to go. So we got the double one here. Why don't we try to deal with that one? We're going to slip our little tool here. Uh-oh. This one's got a thing broken off of it. Wasn't me. We're going to get one from a parts car that doesn't have a chunk taken out of it. I think that's... If I'm doing this, I don't want to come back to it. So I don't want it to end up leaking there because it's not being held. It probably would be just fine, but since I have a parts car, we're going to do that. Parts car provides. So, same one. Both bare. They've got different stickers on them though. But, same thing. But that one's got a broken tab. This one's got 8 good tabs. So I don't know if there's a specific order on this one. We're gonna do the outside portion first, and then we'll do the inside portion. I'm gonna mark maybe this side on this one so I don't mark over my sticker. And we're just gonna get everything marked up. No. Alright, so we take our specialty tool here. These are available on my website for $29.99. Not really. Got a endless supply of used up gift cards though that we could cut up and provide if you need them though. But shoot, I've lost one of my tools. That's like $7, $8 down the drain. Do I have to make a new one? Where'd it go? The problem is when you once you remove the clip, oh there it is, it's hiding out. Once you remove these, the little cards go flying. So we've got them locked in place. And what we should be able to do, oh, I forgot to, there. Okay, so now this one, all right. Alright, so it's gonna... Alright, so we're gonna have to remember the order of this one. This one definitely is different. I should probably go look at my instructions that came with the kit. That would probably be smart. I think we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna take the cap, we're gonna set the spring in it. Then we're gonna go ahead and take this portion off because it's already trying to come off, and that's why we've marked everything. We know which way it goes back. We can get it back together with no problems. And I set the spring aside just in case it doesn't appear there's another spring in here, but just in case we've got it. And I just noticed this one is like almost like plastic. It's so hard. Again, I've lost one of my little clips, one of my little clip removal tools. Should have made like 8 of them. Yeah, when you're cutting them up, just make some extras. Uh-oh. This one, oh. We didn't have all of them in. Let's say this one, it's not wanting to remove them. We might need something. Yeah, these are thicker. So you may have to kind of... Our tool's not thick enough. So you could address that a couple different ways. What I'm going to do is just kind of go in here and try to push that down a little bit. Maybe we should see if we put 2 in here, if that's enough. Yeah, 2's enough. So I'm going to go double these up. And then, so definitely cut 8 of these out, because you're going to need the doubles over here on this pod. And then last one. it'd be easier if you were doing them all at once, you know. There. Instead of having to do 2 and 2 like I just did. Alright, so marks are still there, so we know we can get this thing back together. We know, based on our other pods, that this portion of it just comes off like that. Now I should go look at my instructions. So let me go look at those and then I'll let you know what we do, because we don't want to break this thing. So here we have the portion of our vacuum pod. Now, reviewing over the instructions, and this is all provided in the kit. So this is kind of a retrofit, basically, is what we're doing here. Is we're going to cut this diaphragm off. So if you can see, we've pretty much got it just like this. We don't have the other diaphragm on it yet, but we do have the you know, that's the new diaphragm, just like the other pods, which is a 2010 model, and then you've got your 2020 that's going to fit inside of here, and so this is just going to get cut off and you'll leave the rest of it remaining in here. So we're going to go through and see, it's got a little thing it fits on right there. We're going to go through and I'm just going to cut around here and we'll leave the rest of it right there in the pod. It's not going to hurt anything. I guess I might as well show y'all what we're doing here. I'm just going to go along here. There we go. That's what we're going to end up with. So now we've got our 2010 diaphragm and we need our 2020 diaphragm. So 2010, just like our other pods, just slips on over. And then we're going to work it around, make sure it seats all the way in. And by the way, this is a really nice set of, these feel really nice. It's a good quality set. And then we've got our 2020, which is a retrofit, what I'm going to call a retrofit, to make these things rebuildable. And that goes inside of this. Now, he includes this little cap, so I'm sure that's supposed to go in there. That's probably to give it some rigidity and kind of hold it in there. So make sure you put that in there. Make sure it seats all the way in there. And then, so that's what you're going to end up looking like. Now, I probably should have put this housing on before that, but we're going to make do with what we've got here. And I'm putting it on backwards. Yeah, so it's probably easier if you put that part on first, but we got it. We're getting it. Okay. Get our marks close. And I think what's going to be easiest is if we go ahead and put the black part back on. Make sure our lines line up. I need just a little bit of a turn. It looks perfect. Diaphragm's on all the way around. and snap it together. And just go along, make sure it is snapped together. Oh, that makes sense. This definitely has to go in there because that spring is going to sit inside of it. So I'm going to just going to work that spring in. All right. And we're going to take our top and work it in. Hopefully y'all can see this. Got to get it in there. It looks like it's in all the way around. It is. Oh, come on, come on, come on. I don't like the way it fit over here. I didn't feel like it fit good over there. Yeah, that looks better. I could see the rubber wasn't all the way up against the thing, and so I pulled it back off. That's it. That is the double diaphragm pod rebuilt. Not too bad. Very nice set. Remember George? Very nice set, George. So, Performance Analysis Company for a set of pods. So check and double check your vacuum pods before you install them. Make sure they hold a vacuum. A little vacuum pump. Cheap Harbor Freight one. That's what I've been using. So here we are. We are putting these pods back on, and to replace the broken fastener, or I say broken, the non-existent fastener. Just a little nylon bolt, 2 nylon nuts. So it's double nutted, it's not gonna come off. I swear I'm gonna end up with a whole part store full of hardware, because I keep ordering little stuff like this, just because I can't find it. And like the push fastener, you know, the little plastic push fastener stuff and all that. So the M4 Starlock washers, I didn't have any, and so we went with this little set. I think it was $10, and you know, it'll come in handy. And so I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna put these in with the little Starlocks. Normally my preferred method of installation for these is, you know, put a socket over them and push them on, and I just can't get in there. So what we're doing is one of these and pushing. It's just hard to get to some of it. So I'm gonna get some needle nose pliers, and I've got my little angled ones that'll probably do good to push those on. And we're just pushing them on with the little rubber washers in there, and just like Mercedes had. When you have this dash all apart, now's a good time to check all these rubber T-fittings, and then also just the single hose pieces that fit on here. Just basically check all your connections that go here, check your hard lines. Our little push fasteners work great, you know, should be here forever. I ended up using the ones I could get to easily. The actual best method I found was one of these screwdrivers. Like I said, I used to use I had to get an extension and find a socket that would fit right over it. This one's too big, but you can kind of see the method here. I just use that to push them on. But this actually was the right size, so that worked as a good tool just to shove them on. So I was able to do those 3 with that, and then I used my little angled, well, I used my little plastic pry tool for the top one that I showed you, and then I use I've got some angled needle nose pliers down there that I used to get the other two. Well, should move the car in the shade, but I can't start it up because I don't have the oil line hooked up. But while the dash is out, I took some time to kind of go through things, and I just rebuilt the vacuum pods, and along with that, I replaced all of the rubber fittings and inspected all of the plastic hard lines on the vacuum system for the climate control. Checked the operation of the climate control with a handheld vacuum pump, and all the different functions to making sure that the pods were working and that the solenoids were working. What I found is I had one bad solenoid. I could hit it and it would open, but then it would stick again. And so I replaced it with one that I had pulled from my parts car. The other observation I found is that I can now hold a vacuum. I've got it all where it'll hold a vacuum if it's off. But as soon as climate control turns on, the valves themselves are leaky, and I ran into the same issue on my other car, and then trying to pull some off the parts car, pretty much every single little vacuum solenoid leaked when it was on. So there's not much I can do about that than just make sure every other vacuum leak is fixed, and that's what I've done. All the pods except for the footwell one have been rebuilt, and the footwell one holds vacuum, so I'm not going to mess with it right now. But all the other ones hold. I've also pulled all of these connections off and replaced them. So I didn't buy the Mercedes ones like this. I just made my own with vacuum tees. I bought a box of them and went through a box of them, and vacuum line. Went through, replaced every single one, and then on the manifold, made my own little vacuum manifold with tees. I did away with so in the diagram it shows an orifice and a check valve going to this pod. I don't have either one of those on this car, my other car, or my parts car. So I don't know if they did away with that or what. What I do have is the solenoid that goes there had this on it, and inside of this there's like one of those little metallic filters, but maybe it's an orifice. But when I look in there, it looks almost like one of those I don't know what they call it, but they used to use them on old fuel lines. But it's a filter material, but it's almost like a metallic, kind of looks like copper, like little pellets of copper melted together. I don't know how to describe it, but that's what it looks like in there. This is completely plugged up. I can't get vacuum through it. I've tried cleaning it, whatever, it will not pass a vacuum through it. So we're going to do away with that. If I find an issue, the only thing I can think of that they were trying to do there is to slow the action of this pod right here, so it has a gradual. If you watch the other pods, and I guess maybe because they have more resistance or whatever, they're more like this, whereas this one's like, it closes quickly. I don't see an issue with it closing quickly. I think they were just trying to make sure there was no like noise as it was closing, or I don't know, or it was a gradual transition instead of a cut over from defrost to vent. I don't know. It operates like it should right now. Everything seems correct, so we're gonna just let it be, and I think it'll be fine. So if I find there's an issue, I can easily get in here and put some kind of an orifice there. Like I said, there was not anything here. So that's where we're going to leave it. I am going to go set the dash in. I have cleaned up the dash, cleaned up the dash pad, you know, the underside insulation pad. I've cleaned it up. I took it completely off, cleaned it, and, well, kind of brushed it off. I didn't do any kind of chemicals or wet cleaner on it. I just kind of brushed it off and cleaned it. And I cleaned under where it was, the bottom side of the dash, cleaned that up. I've also inspected these plastic lines here. They seem to be in good shape as far as, you know, the yellow ones for the door locks and all that. All that seems to be good. So I don't think we have any issue, at least there on the door locks. It's probably in here where we have issues. So we'll have to address that later. I'm not doing door locks right now. So I think, like I said, ready to put the dash back in. Every single rubber connection for climate control has been replaced. So we should not have any leaks, and the pod's been rebuilt. We shouldn't have any leaks other than the solenoids. They're leaky and they're pricey, so I'm not replacing them. I think the vacuum pump will be able to handle that little bit of a vacuum leak. So this thing has been apart way too long, so I'm gonna go put the dash back in it and try to get everything hooked up, because I want to drive this car again. It has been out of commission about 2 weeks, and I did not envision it taking this long for me to get everything back together. Cold air blowing strong out of the center vents. I mean, it blows much stronger out of the center vents than it does out of the side vents. I mean, you can see how much it's blowing. That. We change it to defrosters, center vents cut off, and it's blowing strong on the defrosters. If we change it to, let's see, let's change it to heat. It's going to change to foot level. I'm not sure at what point we change it to economy. That would have changed that one, I think. See it move? Off. Okay. And those two moved. We change it off of heat when you get heat. Man, this is nice. And we've got it partially right now between floor. We're blowing on the floor, not as much through here. We change it back to here and we go full center vents. Everything working like it should. This is awesome. Like, I am thrilled. This is something I've never had in, you know, one of my Mercedes. Well, you know, my 300D. I never went through the trouble of doing all this. And it was quite a pain, but definitely worth it. I mean, if I would have known this much air would blow out of these vents, I figured it would be something like these. If I would have known it would be this much air, I mean, I can't imagine how much cold air I was missing out on. Because here's the deal. I was trying to work on this thing around noon yesterday, trying to put the dash in. I couldn't do it. The windshield would, when you're trying to get this dash in here, the windshield would burn your hand. It was so hot. Now you can imagine if over, I'd say 60 or maybe 60 or 70% of your cold air that the AC is putting out, if it's coming out of here and blowing against that burning hot windshield, you're not going to get much cold air. I mean, that air is going to heat up quick. And so I was missing out on a lot of cold air. So I would definitely recommend doing this job. I'm going to end this one here. I'm going to go ahead and wrap all this stuff up. I'm probably going to just leave the car running and let the AC blow. It feels so good in here. And bolt the dash up and get everything kind of wrapped up and back together and looking nice. And we're going to wrap this job up. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment down below. Hit the like button and subscribe for more.